They say that history is the greatest of all teachers, and the tales of past deeds define who we are in the present, and what we shall be in the future. It is said that such tales shall, with each telling, illuminate us all with the light of truth. I shall tell you of such a tale. It is a tale quite familiar to me, for I have spent nearly a lifetime piecing it together and chronicling it here within this book. For years I have pondered its passages, studying every line, committing each word to memory. Perhaps now, in the telling of it, I shall at last find the answers I seek. Our story takes place in the northern region of Faerun, known as Icewind Dale. It is a harsh, frozen land, cut off from the rest of the world by a wall of jagged peaks called the Spine of the World. For centuries, the icy plains of the Dale have been home to the barbarian peoples of the Uthgard and Regedmund. Huddled together in small, closely knit tribes, the barbarians lived simple lives, free, proud, and fiercely independent. Until the day an archmage named Ericon came to Icewind Dale. With an army of mercenaries, Ericon sought to conquer the north and force the fierce barbarians into slavery. Long weeks of battle followed, and the scattered barbarian tribes suffered terrible losses. Defeat seemed inevitable. In their darkest hour, a barbarian shaman named Jared came forth and demanded a council between all the remaining tribes of the north. A respected warrior, Jared persuaded the council to put aside their differences and unite against Ericon. Strengthened by a new sense of purpose, the barbarians rallied behind their new leader. The combined might of the Northmen proved more than a match for Ericon, who had counted on the division of the tribes. Wave after wave of barbarian warriors tore into Ericon's hired army, forcing them on the defensive and ultimately into full retreat. As his army crumbled around him, Ericon had time for one last desperate act before his enemies descended upon him. Drawing upon his remaining power, the Archmage breached the planar boundaries, tearing open a portal to the lower planes. The foolish Archmage's cries of victory immediately turned to shrieks of terror as the hideous and twisted shapes of demonkind materialized from the portal and poured onto the battlefield. The sudden appearance of the demons drove the combatants, barbarian and mercenary alike, to turn to meet the new threat side by side. The remaining warriors bravely charged the portal to drive the hellspawn back and were slaughtered by the hundreds. As his people fell around him, the barbarian shaman, Jared, looked up from the blood-drenched snow of the battlefield and caught sight of a lone figure high upon a ridge in the distance. Jared immediately recognized this vision as an omen from his god Tempus, and in that instant, he knew what had to be done. Shouting cries to his god, he charged through the ranks of the demons and plunged into the portal. As Jared's blood fused with the energies of the portal, an explosion of white light engulfed the battlefield. When the light subsided, the demons were gone, and the portal was closed. In its place hovered a disk of solid stone. Frozen within the center of the disk was Jared's body, locked in his final moment of agony, in his final moment of triumph, for all eternity. But that is not the end of our tale. It is but the beginning.
Alright, Babber, how we doing, folks? Well, That intro was longer than expected. Yes, welcome to Icewind Dale. I was originally planning on this to be a bit of a 90s 2000 throwback. Bit of nostalgia, bit of fun, bit of messing around. Especially after the abysmal failure of Wasteland 2 and killing all my party off. I was going to see if we could do it again. This time I was thinking of doing a bit of Xena Warrior Princess, but we had a little sound issue. The basic story is the sound sets I can't get to work in Icewind Dale Enhanced Edition, and I can't get the old version of GOG to run at all. So, like Wasteland 2, we've got standard game sounds, but the portraits of the characters created the characters. So we're gonna a quick video of a little run through of the characters, what they're gonna do, and probably how I'm gonna screw it all up. Anyway, so we will have a new game, get rid of all of these pre-made characters, and let's pull in Xena. So we have Xena the fighter, and there we go. So I have min-maxed the characters. I believe somewhere in the video description will be their total rolls, so you can see the sort of min-maxing I did on stats. It's basically strength, dex, con, and those that need it intelligence, those that need it wisdom, etc. So Xena, female, human, straight fighter. Gonna head up to 5 proficiency slots for Grand Mastery. This is the enhanced edition, so there are some kits in here. Yeah, so that's Xena, your basic fighter. She's got one-handed specialty and bastard sword, I believe, if memory serves. I don't think there's any form of chakram type weapon in the game, but hey, maybe someone can tell me if there's a mod or something like that, and we'll add it in. So next up, we're going to have Gabrielle, if I can find her. There she is. Who is Xena without Gabrielle? Come on, we all know this. So, Gabrielle, human, Skald. She's gone bard. I was thinking of making her a half-elf. A friend of mine suggested making her a half-elf so she could go fighter bard, because later on in the series she kicks some ass. But we've gone for sort of early Gabrielle. We're going Skald. I forget why, but we're going Skald. I think there were some armor class bonuses. I can't remember. Anyway. Next up, we're going to bring in Joxer. He's our second fighter type. I really needed a ranger. Xena is melee. Gabrielle is basically going to be singing songs. So Joxer we wanted as a ranged character, so we've gone for a ranger archer. I know he's not really an archer, but you know, I did keep his intelligence down and pump up his charisma a little bit, but you know, not that that matters for shooting stuff with arrows. Somewhere in here, Autolycus. So Autolycus is a swashbuckler. I figured we'd make him a bit of a swashbuckler. He was very charming and buckled a bit of swash in the series. Yeah, managed to get him some high scores too. They're all pretty min-maxed. I'm going to be rubbish in game. I have done D&D for donkey's years, but I'm no rules memorizing man. I have mates that do that when we play. So there is a slight change. I've done Ares is now basically a human invoker. We've taken away his godly powers, but as we know from the series, there were a few times when he cast a few fireballs. So I figured a human mage, we needed a spellcaster. Ares is the man. And Aphrodite, finally Aphrodite, she is our healer. I've given her a cleric, followed the priest of Lathander, because I think the description said something along the lines of youth and vigor and stuff like that, which is all sort of Aphrodite's shtick. So yeah, basic intro. This is what we're going to be playing with. Unfortunately, the sounds are all standard game sounds, which is a bit of a shame. But if anyone's got a fix, I spent probably a week trying to get this sorted out, but I've given up, I've failed. If anyone knows of a fix or whatever, please leave it in the comments. That'd be ace. And if you're interested in following a little 90s nostalgia with a bit of Icewind Dale with some Xena characters, then please feel free to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and look out for the videos that will be coming soon. Cheers folks, all the best, bye bye.